Happening now, police continue to investigate a mobile meth lab on Cherry Street. New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo is pushing for regulations on work scheduling.
Well, it's not as cold as it was last weekend, but it's cold enough to where I'm not even holding the mic by the handle. I'm holding it by the battery pack, as you can see here. I'm Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, standing on Main Street here in Jamestown, and we're going to warm up to about average for this time of the year come later this week, but big changes are on the way for the weekend. We're talking possible lake effect. We'll talk about it coming up.
That's News Now for Tuesday, November 14th, 2017.
Live and on demand from the Chautauqua Audio Works studios in downtown Jamestown. This is your source for breaking news. WNY News Now.
Thanks so much for joining us, and happy Tuesday. I'm Justin Gould. Our top story: state and city police are investigating a possible meth lab in the area of East 8th and Cherry Streets. Jamestown Police Chief Harry Snellings told WNY News Now Monday evening that the investigation is ongoing. A check with Chief Snellings this morning garnered a similar response. Snellings has previously told us that the number of mobile meth labs in the city are down, as the finished product is now on the streets. We'll, of course, provide an update on our website throughout the day at WNYNewsNow.com. In other news, Jamestown police say a city man broke a bedroom door by forcibly opening it, causing the door to strike a victim in the head during a Tuesday morning domestic dispute on Fairmount Avenue. 30-year-old Anton Romanoff was reportedly charged with assault and criminal mischief. He currently sits in jail pending arraignment. The victim suffered a severe laceration as a result of the incident. A local woman received a liability verdict in a personal injury lawsuit against New York State. Rebecca Fry brought the lawsuit after she was seriously injured at the Prendergast boat launch in Mayville 3 years ago. Judge Michael Hudson, who presided over the case, found that the state was negligent in maintaining the launch and that it bears 70% liability for the fall. Fry was represented by John Lamancuso of Lewis & Lewis, who maintains 14 lawyers and 5 offices throughout Western New York. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter with a first look at our weather. Hey, Dakota.
Hey, Justin. Happy Tuesday, everybody. And it's not going to be as cool as it was last week. Again, we had that insane cool last week. Let's take a look at the day planner for today. And you can see we should top out around 40. This is a computer model data that we're looking at here. So the model has us topping out around 40 degrees, and then we'll start to dip off here to around 33 by the time we get to 8 o'clock tonight. You can see the wind's not going to be as strong either, and that is good news, because then that way we don't have that wind chill taken into effect either, so it won't be as bad. Westerly winds will be pretty much the story throughout the day until they shift around to the north and then eventually to the east later on tonight. Now, a big clipper system is going to come off Canada over the weekend with bringing polar air and that lake effect snowwards come into the forecast. Yeah, we'll talk about it coming up in a few minutes. Back to you, Justin.
Oh boy, don't you dare say that S word.
I'm sorry.
Dakota, thank you. Well, Governor Andrew Cuomo announced new regulations Friday that seek to crack down on employers keeping hourly workers on call, available to be called in at any moment's notice. The new labor rules would establish a 14-day advance notice standard for scheduling and require 2 hours extra pay for last-minute assignments. If a shift is canceled by the employer within 72 hours of its start time, or if the worker is required to be on standby to be called into work, the worker must be provided at least 4 hours of call-in pay. Now, this extra pay wouldn't apply if an employee volunteers to fill in for a coworker who would have been scheduled 14 days in advance. The statewide regulations will take effect in January. Coming up next, residents overwhelmingly reject a possible school merger. And later on, we see what a Salamanca middle schooler accomplished. Stay with us.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
The merger process between Panama and Clymer Central Schools has come to a sudden halt, with residents of one of the districts resoundingly voting against it. Monday, both schools conducted a straw poll to gauge public opinion. Clymer residents overwhelmingly defeated the measure 655 to 186. Meanwhile, Panama residents voted in favor of the merger 192 to 168. Now, these votes really don't carry any weight. Both boards have the final say. Currently, both districts share services and programs. Well, you may have hypertension today, even if your blood pressure was perfectly normal yesterday. 11 health organizations published new guidelines Monday that lower the threshold for what's considered high blood pressure. The parameters indicate patients should now be treated when blood pressure reaches 130/80. Those numbers used to be considered normal. Treatment was not previously indicated until blood pressure reached 141/90. Under these new guidelines, 103 million Americans, or 46% of the population, have hypertension now. That's 1 million more Americans than under the old definition. Now, according to the report, most of the newly diagnosed patients will not need medication. They can manage their blood pressure through lifestyle changes like exercise. Well, take a look at this. An online worksheet that was never meant for children has parents at one Virginia middle school furious after a teacher mistakenly passed it out to students. The teacher assigned the family quiz worksheet Friday in a family and consumer sciences class. The assignment began with straightforward questions like, what do you call the father of your father? But the last few there took kind of a turn. Parents say after the teacher went over the answers, some of the children had no clue what trophy wife or boy toy even meant. Wow.
Now, your First Defense Forecast with Dakota Hunter.
When I was in home ec, I learned how to cook and sew. So I don't know what in the world they're teaching in home ec class nowadays. Hey, let's take a look at the First Defense Sky Vision camera network. The Warren camera is back online, and you can see the beautiful Allegheny Mountains there in the background, traffic down there, and that's the Hickory Street Bridge going over the river there. Temperature 41 in Warren right now with a dew point of 37. Not too bad wind, so we don't have a lot of that wind chill out there either, so that does make you feel a little bit better. Now, weather headlines, as I told you, we're talking about a potential Clipper system coming through the area. But first off, temperatures in the 40s throughout the week, so not going to be that bad. We should reach around average for the middle of the week. A deep trough comes in on Saturday. That's going to be that Clipper system that's going to pull in from Canada across the Great Lakes. That will bring us rain and wind on Saturday ahead of a polar front that's also going to be dragged with that system. And if you watched us yesterday, I told you that that the computer models are pointing to 60, 65 mile an hour wind gusts on Saturday night. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. And there is the potential with the warm lake water. Lake Erie is about 2 degrees above average right now. And with the warmer waters on Lake Erie, not out of the question, this system's going to tap into the lake and cause some lake effect. Now, please keep in mind, this could easily change between now and then, but the potential is on the table that this could be our first significant lake effect snow event of the season. It's way too early to throw out numbers, but it's just something we're keeping an eye on. And of course, we'll keep you updated throughout the week as we get more model data in and we get a better handle on this Clipper system. Temperatures out there right now, not too bad. 34 in Jamestown, 40 in Dunkirk, 44 over there in Erie, 41 in Buffalo, 42 at Niagara Falls, 32 down there in the Allegheny River Valley, down there in Olean. So temperatures, a little fluctuation in the temperatures out there today, but all in all, not bad. They're currently out at the airport right now in Jamestown. I don't know why I was going over to this other side of the wall. I don't know why I was getting ready to do that. It's 34 out there right now. Got some fog being reported at the airport as well. Of course, when you got fog, that means you got 100% humidity, 34-degree wind chill with that calm wind. And look at the visibility, less than half a mile visibility down there. So Again, that's being reported at the airport north of the city. Now I get over on the other side of the wall. Your forecast details for this Tuesday. Your sunset time comes up at 4:56 this afternoon. It's getting sooner and sooner now since we're on standard time. Sunrise, 7:07 tomorrow morning. Your record for this date is 71, set in 1989. And your record low is 10, set in 1986. So 2 records there set in the 80s. And again, lake temperatures, they're tied. 51 on Lake Erie off the Buffalo Harbor and 51 degrees on Lake Ontario off the coast of Rochester. Lake Erie right now is about 2 degrees above average. The average lake water is about 49. So when we have a higher than normal temperature on Lake Erie, not out of the question we could add that lake effect in that mix with that Clipper system either. First Defense forecast for this Tuesday, chance for a few light rain or snow showers throughout the day. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies. We'll go for high around 41 with a light and variable wind. So when you have a light wind, very little wind chill. How about that? For tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a little bit chilly. Down to 29. Again, some of the colder pockets, especially in the valleys, a little colder than that. Light wind, they eventually shift around to the north, around 5 to 6 miles an hour. And then for tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies again, a slight chance for showers, only a 20% chance, though temperatures bound back to where they should be, around 47 with a south wind 6 to 12. And again, I wanted to show this picture one more time because I love that. Beautiful sunrise of Jamestown that I took several years ago. That's still beautiful today as it was back then. The next 7 days of your life on the home planet we call Earth. And you can see that Thursday, we're bringing a chance for more rain with temperatures dip a little bit. Look at that high on Saturday before that front moves in, 51. And again, Saturday night, Sunday going into Monday, not out of the question we could add lake effect into the mix with that Clipper system moving across Lake Erie. Sports is right after the break, so please stay with us.
WNY News Now is sponsored by Chautauqua Audio Works, introducing Sound Rhythm Studio Lessons, drums, percussion, private, semi-private. Little Fingers classes include piano, young beginners guitar, ukulele. Sign up by calling 450-0072. With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
The team that puts coverage first. We have some breaking news. Police confirming now that Steve Stevens was found dead in Erie, Pennsylvania.
His house is on fire and it's dangerously close to the Appleyard Terrace.
Fire crews battling another blaze.
Needs to be treated as the terrorist act that it is.
He got the ball, he just went to the hoop and he shot it.
And as for the star of the show, Tucker Pierce.
I feel good.
Proceeds from the Battle of the Classes going to the Alex Folk Foundation.
50 years of service and dedication to anything is very impressive. Put your lives on the line for your neighbors.
It's just something that I think people should do. You have to give back to the community.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Starting off in football, the Miami Dolphins played the Carolina Panthers last night. The Panthers, starting the first quarter off rough between penalties and missed catches, were able to come down with a win. Cam Newton last night throwing for 254 yards over 21 throws, but also showing he's still good on his feet. Watch this run from the quarterback, 1st and 10 on the 13. Newton gets the snap and proceeds to take off down the field before he is stopped on the opposing 23-yard line. The Panthers go on to beat the Dolphins 45-21. The 5th Wheaton college football player accused of hazing pleaded not guilty to the charges Monday. James Cooksey and 4 others are accused of stripping and beating a former freshman teammate. He faces 9 charges ranging from aggravated battery to unlawful restraint to mob action. Each count of aggravated battery carries a possible sentence of 2 to 5 years and a $25,000 fine. Each count of unlawful restraint and mob action carries a possible sentence of 1 to 3 years and $25,000 fine. The charges stem from an accusation made by a former Wheaton College freshman who told police the 5 football players dragged him against his will, restrained him with duct tape, beat him, stripped him down, tore both his shoulders, and left him nearly naked on a baseball field. The other 4 football players pleaded not guilty in October. Cleveland Cavaliers versus the New York Knicks. Just over a minute left in the game, 4th quarter, and tied at 97-97. LeBron James, as calm as can be, dribbles up to the three-point line and shoots a cold-blooded three-pointer for the lead. Take a couple more looks at our play of the day. From the Phone Zone Sports Desk, in for Ryan Hedrick, I'm Storm Hartman. WNY News Now, it all unfolds here.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
Everything's made fresh here. We love to be outside, and it's nice inside if it's raining, so we have a choice.
Locals and non-locals agree that the Main Landing is quickly becoming a destination.
It's just so casual, and just the food is amazing.
I love the hamburgers.
But I really like the tuna I had.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Let's start with Brazil.
Brasilia.
All right. China.
Beijing.
Costa Rica.
San Jose.
All right. Now let's get a little harder. Djibouti.
Djibouti.
All right. Estonia.
Tallinn.
Okay. Gabon.
Libreville.
Guatemala.
Guatemala City.
Let's go to Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan?
Yeah.
Bishkek.
See, he's good.
How many capital cities do you know, Dakota?
Well,
well, this Salamanca 8th grader seems to have most of us beat. English teacher Adam Bennett, you see, that recently quizzed Kendall Valvo to see how many capital cities he could get correct. The district says that Kendall has known them all since he was about 7 years old. Pretty amazing. Not gonna lie.
When I was 7 years old, I was too busy. Well, I'm not ashamed to admit it now, but when I was a kid, I used to hate it. I used to collect vacuum cleaners. So go ahead, type in the comments about how the weatherman is a complete weirdo.
We all have our little things.
When I was 7 years old, I was too busy fixing and collecting vacuum cleaners.
Your future wife will appreciate it, I'm sure.
Yeah, future wife, that's never gonna happen.
But that's that's so cool. Storm's making jokes in our ear.
Storm's in our ear making a bunch of inappropriate comments.
Come on, Storm. Yeah, so that's so cool that he's able to recite that. I mean, honestly, like, I've never been much of a trivia person. The whole like recall thing, like, you know, for news stuff, I can know information about a story, but like after a couple days, it's kind of like, okay, you know, sorry, geography teachers of the world. Speaking of,
well, I never was good in I was a little sort of good in, like, you know, sort of like local geography.
Right, like I could tell you like where Mayville is and like Buffalo and Niagara Falls and stuff like that, but like, you know, like the capital of Djibouti, I have no idea.
There's actually a country named Djibouti.
Yeah. With that, you can bail us out for the weather. Djibouti, the country of Djibouti.
I am just left speechless.
You didn't know there was a country. They said it in there, but yeah, I knew about Djibouti before you knew about Djibouti. You're sitting on it.
Get out of it. I'm about to walk off the set. Anyway.
He opened himself up to that.
Anyway, let's go to weather. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast numero one more time. And so you can see today pretty much mostly cloudy skies. We'll bring in a slight chance for pretty much a rain or snow shower, but I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. Tomorrow, again, slight chance of a rain shower again on Wednesday. Now, again, over the weekend, that could very well change, but we're looking at that Clipper system that's going to come in from Canada, drag polar air across the Great Lakes, and with that, warmer than average Lake Erie temperature, 51 degrees. It's about 2 degrees above average. Not out of the question, we could add lake effect into the picture Saturday night, Sunday, and Monday. Again, it is way too early to be throwing out numbers as into the amount of snowfall that we could see with it. But there is a potential that this could be the most significant lake effect event we've seen so far this season. That's all I'm going to say on it until we have a better handle about the Clipper system, which we'll have later.
You'll keep us posted throughout the week.
Absolutely. I'll be here.
One more note I wanted to talk about at the top. Some people are still kind of confused. News Now is like a half an hour show, give or take. So the top story of our headline is at the very, very beginning of the show. So as soon as the broadcast is over, feel free to rewatch. And of course, all of these stories are on our website, WNYNewsNow.com. That's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.
See you tomorrow.